Hey guys, it's Sophie. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. So for today's video, we are going to be continuing with the apparatus series. We're on part 4 now, and today we're going to be talking all about ribbon. So if you've been watching the series, you already know how this is going to go. I'm just going to talk everything about ribbon, share some of my experiences, show you guys my collection, answer your questions and all that. So let's just go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's start off with the ribbon itself. Now, to get to this whole thing, there are 3 components. There is the stick here, which is 56 to 59 centimeters in length. And then we've got the ribbon itself, which can be 5 to 6 meters long depending on what level you're in. And it's only about 5 centimeters in width. And then connecting the ribbon and the stick is this little, I don't know, I just call it a connector. It can look something like this, or there's also like a chain version of it, but this is the one I prefer to use. There's no specific weight requirements for ribbons, so don't have to worry about that. But the ribbon itself is very, very light. In terms of material, the stick I believe is made out of fiberglass, and the actual ribbon is something called rayon, I'm pretty sure. I don't even know if I pronounced that right, but I looked it up. It's something called rayon. And there are so many different colors and color combinations you can get for your ribbon. There are solid colored ribbons, there are multicolored ribbons like the one I have. In the category of multicolored ribbons, there's like the ones that have the same kind of pattern repeating, or there's ones that kind of just transition between 3 or 4 colors along the whole ribbon. And even with the stick, there's these solid color ones like I have, but I know Venturelli, I think they're called bicolored ribbon sticks, so it's just 2 different colors, and those are really nice as well. And some of the sticks are also sparkly. I know Chacot has some sparkly sticks, and so there's so many different color combinations. People also dye their own ribbons. You can buy a white ribbon and just dye it to whatever colors and or pattern you want, so that's really cool. There's a lot of freedom with the, I guess, presentation of the ribbon. Now the brands where you can get ribbons are the same as all the other apparatus: Sasaki, Chacot, Venturelli, Pastorelli. I think Romsport has some too. Anywhere that you can get your FIG approved gymnastics equipment, those are going to be good for ribbons as well. There are definitely places to get some of those like cheaper ribbons. Like you could get ribbons at Dollarama, but they're not going to be FIG approved. Obviously, if you're just doing this for fun, kind of at a recreational level, totally fine to get one of the non-FIG approved ribbons. But if you are planning to compete, you do need an FIG approved ribbon, so any of those brands which I just mentioned would be good for that. And then in terms of things you need to get along with your ribbon, now, as I mentioned, there's the 3 parts, so there's the stick, the ribbon, and the connector. You also need a case for your stick, so just to kind of protect it when it's put away, prevent it from breaking, and this comes with the stick, so you don't need to buy it separately. And then for the ribbon itself, you should also get some sort of roller for it. So, for example, mine is from Sasaki, and you use this to roll up your ribbon and put it away, obviously, when you're not using it, so it's not just getting thrown in your bag and getting all wrinkled. So there's that. I know Chacot has some really cool, I don't know how to explain it, but you wrap it around and then there's like a hole for your stick to put it in, and it's really cool. I'm pretty sure I'll have a picture on the screen, but that's also another option instead of getting the roller and the stick case. And then in terms of caring for your apparatus, like I mentioned before, I have a video dedicated completely to that, so you guys can check that out for more information. But just to quickly go over how to care for your ribbon, it can get wrinkled over time, especially when you get knots and stuff, so ironing it every now and then is good. The end will also fray over time, so if you need to trim it, re-sew it as necessary, that's also good. And we've got our best friend, the FIG stamps. This is what it looks like on a ribbon, and I know a lot of people have had trouble with their stamps peeling off right away, so I do know putting clear nail polish over it helps. It still does fade away eventually, but it helps it stick on at least for a little bit longer. But just a quick tip, with my Venturelli ribbon, the stamp does not come off, so that's great. Never have to worry about that. There are actually 2 verification stamps on your ribbon. There's one, I think it's like 10 centimeters or something from the end of the ribbon, and then there's also one here right at the beginning of your ribbon. And then there's also one on your stick, so there's a lot of different verification stamps on your whole thing here. Okay, next up we are going to get into the fundamentals with ribbon. It's going to be absolutely impossible for me to show this in my room, so like usual, I have a tutorial on basic and more advanced ribbon handling, which you can check out up in the corner, which I'm not going to bother looking for. But anyways, the first of the fundamentals is spirals. So spirals is basically just a simple movement here of rotating your wrist, I guess, in a circle, and the ribbon kind of follows that pattern. And then the next one is snakes, which is moving side to side or up and down. And with spirals and snakes, you have to have 4 to 5 movements of it within your ribbon in order for it to count. So that's something important to note. Another fundamental is passing through or over the pattern of the ribbon. So there's a couple different examples of this. You can be jumping over it, you can be going through it in like a cartwheel or something for mastery. There's a couple different ways you could do that. And then another one is échappés, which are basically just little flips. yeah, there's not much else to it. Those are the only fundamentals with ribbon. So we're just gonna get into the ribbon routines, and I wouldn't say there's a specific style that I associate with ribbon routines. Like I've mentioned in my previous videos, like hoop I associated with either softer or very powerful routines, ball I associated more with softer routines, clubs I associated more with like upbeat, fun routines, but I don't think there's one specific style that works for ribbon. There are people that have slower, softer routines similar to hoop or ball. There are some that have more upbeat and fun music similar to clubs, but there are some that have like folk music and stuff. There's a lot of variety of ribbon routines, so I wouldn't put a label on that one. But it is kind of nice to see all the different types of ribbon routines people can do. Okay, next up, issues with ribbon. I could go on for ages talking about all the different issues there are with ribbon, but I'm gonna try to keep it short and not make this video an hour long. First up, probably one of the most common things you'll see is knots. Usually if your pattern is incorrect, you'll get a knot, and depending on what kind of knot you get, they can be really hard to undo. When you have a knot in your ribbon during your routine, nothing counts, so either you stop and undo your knot or you throw it away and take the spare. Getting tangled around the ribbon, getting the ribbon stuck on itself. I've had issues where the ribbon gets stuck on the little circle from the connector. Also, the conditions in the gym are really gonna affect ribbon the most because the ribbon is so light, so if there's a draft or something, if air conditioning's on really high, the ribbon will drift a lot during your throws. You could be coming down perfectly and then just go like that last minute. Happens a lot to me and it's so frustrating. Also, if it's really hot in the gym, you get really sweaty and the ribbon sticks to you, it's not pleasant. In that case, I would recommend putting baby powder on yourself to help the ribbon not stick to you so much. And then there's also issues with the end fraying quite easily. So the end of the ribbon can wear down pretty quickly, and when the end is all frayed, it does make it easier to get knots and it interferes with your pattern, so that's not great. And also now the issue with the stamps coming off really quickly, it just means you have to replace your ribbon quite often. And an issue that I personally have a lot is this little circle breaking. So you can see there's this little circle that connects the connector and the stick, and this circle breaks for me all the time. Maybe it's because I'm too like rough with the ribbon, I don't know, but it breaks for me all the time, so I constantly have to be replacing just the little circle, not the connector itself, just the little circle, and it's very annoying. But all of that aside, don't let that discourage you from doing ribbon. Ribbon is still very, very nice to watch. It's still lots of fun when you're trying it out. Routines are a bit of a different story, but yeah, there are plenty of issues to come across with ribbon. Okay, so now let's get into some different types of throws with the ribbon. And again, I can't show them here, but I'll kind of show you the movement with the arms and insert a video. There's a few main ways you can throw the ribbon, because when you actually throw the ribbon, you're grabbing the ribbon itself. You're not really throwing from the stick all the time. So you could grab the stick in one hand, the ribbon in the other hand, and just throw it from there. That's one way you could do it. You could do it in front, kind of like that's your typical throw. You could also throw behind. You could throw behind in rotation. Those are all with that kind of setup into the throw. And then another kind of setup, as you could say, is to keep the ribbon in one hand but like flip the stick and then grab the ribbon and throw it. So that could work in terms of something that I used to do a lot was do a big circle, then a little flip, grab the ribbon and throw it. That's one way you could throw it like that. Or you could just flip the stick, throw it behind in rotation again. You can also throw the ribbon with your legs. Nowadays people do it so many times in their routine. You can throw it in a back walkover, front walkover, cartwheel, illusion, all that stuff, and it's all different, it all counts. And yeah, there is also throw where you're just holding the stick itself. You could just do like circles and throw it like that. So again, all these types of throws can be used for risks, but also for masteries of a throws, which leads me nicely into our masteries again. So masteries of a throw, which are 0.3, are the first type of mastery I'm going to talk about. And those can be, like I said, any of the throws that I just listed, and they have to be a medium or high throw to be counted for 0.3. And like I've mentioned in all my other videos, you can combine them with a mastery of a catch, which is 0.4 to get a total of 0.7. And there's, again, so many different catches you could do. In order to be counted, your catch just has to meet 2 out of the 3 criteria. So that's catching without hands, without vision, or during a rotation, or like on the floor, under your leg, all that kind of stuff, it has to have 2 of those criteria in order to be counted. But then if you do have a large enough throw and you do a master of a throw and a catch, it's 0.7 right there. Other than throws and catches, there's rolls with ribbon, and those are worth 0.3. I don't see too many rolls, but they're definitely there. And then there's a ton of masters with ribbon that are just spirals and snakes. So it's a lot of just having your hand behind you, doing spirals during like an illusion, a cartwheel, a walkover, any of that, or doing it under your leg. There's a lot of like, I don't know, as you could say, like cheap masteries with ribbon, where you just do something simple like rotate the ribbon under your leg in a passe turn and it's 0.2. All of those smaller masteries with snakes and spirals or whatever are just worth 0.2. Okay, we are going to get into my experiences with ribbon now, and I'm just going to start off by showing you guys my ribbon collection. I've got a lot of ribbons, so just yeah, get ready. So we'll start off with the one that I already have here. This is the one I'm currently using. My stick is from Venturelli. The connector is the Amaya collection, also from Venturelli, and my ribbon is also Venturelli. I really love my Venturelli ribbons, as I mentioned before, just because they're super light and easy to manipulate, and the stamp doesn't come off, so it's great. Mine goes from blue to purple to pink to red to yellow and then repeats itself. Okay, the first ribbon I ever got was this one here. I'm not going to unravel it all the way, but it goes from like a dark purple to a green to a blue, and that's about it. But it's really nice because my favorite colors are green, blue, and purple, so my parents got me this one first. And I'm pretty sure this was a 6-meter ribbon, and I just started with a 6-meter ribbon. So wait, no it wasn't. I don't even know. And then after that, I used this ribbon here, which goes from white to light blue to darker blue. And it's really nice. I think I borrowed this from a teammate because it's a 5-meter ribbon and she was senior and she didn't need it anymore, so I think she just gave it to me. But guys, look at the end here. This is an example of a frayed end of a ribbon. And then after that, I started using this ribbon, which I think I got from Catherine. It's black to purple to light blue, also really nice. They're all really nice, okay? I love all the different color combinations for ribbon. But anyways, same scenario here. She was senior at the time, I was junior. When you become senior, you use a 6-meter ribbon, and when you're junior, you use 5 meters, so she didn't need her 5-meter ribbons anymore. So she just gave me this, and I worked with it also during my last year of junior. And then after that, I started using this beautiful ribbon here, which looks like a sunset. It goes from dark purple to pink to orange, and those are the colors I repeat for this ribbon. It's from Chacot, I believe. But I used this during my first year of senior for my Moonlight Sonata routine, and I have at least 3 of the same ribbon here. Wait, this one is completely unused. Okay. And then the next ribbon I have after this is from Venturelli now, and I don't want to unravel the whole thing, but it goes from black to dark pink to lighter pink until this color, which is like almost white. Here, can you see inside the roll? It goes from black to dark pink to a lighter pink, right? Cool, yeah. And this ribbon I used, I think, in my 2nd year of senior. So it's still for that Moonlight Sonata routine, and I have 2, maybe 3 of them. I think just 2. But I competed with this ribbon at Worlds, and my coach wants me to throw this ribbon in the garbage because if you guys saw my routine at Worlds, you know how that went. The ribbon itself is very nice. I just did a really bad routine with it. And then after that, I started using the ribbon that I have now, which I showed you guys, which is also from Venturelli. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. But the one I'm using now, I just started using like a week ago. And this one I haven't opened yet because I just got it like a week ago as well. But these 2 are completely dead. As you can see, I go through a lot of ribbons. It's not good. I also have a few other sticks. Before my Venturelli stick, which is just the neon pink one, I had this Chacot stick, which is just black, sparkly. I don't know, that's about it. And because my connector swivel thing breaks all the time, I think I have like 10 of them here. I have 8 right here that I ordered from Venturelli, and I have a couple more, so I've got a solid like 10 extra swivels now, so we're all good if my ribbon ever breaks again. I've only ever had, I think, 3 different ribbon routines. One was actually Catherine's old routine, but we changed it up to, I guess, fit my style a little bit better, but it was the same music, and I think some of the steps and stuff were the same. I just had that in my last year of junior. That was the first year I did ribbon. I mean, I did ribbon group before, but my first time competing individually with ribbon was with that routine. And then I had, for my first 2 years of senior, my Moonlight Sonata routine, which was like a classical piece. it was a nice routine. I just could never do it properly. And then we've got the ribbon routine that I have now, which is like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard the music because I've never competed internationally with it, but it's like a Hungarian folk music, I think, if I'm not wrong. It starts off pretty slow but then gets nice and fast. It's like, it's a violinist, and it's probably my favorite ribbon routine that I've had so far. It's definitely still very hard, very tiring, but I like the routine. But I've had my fair share of interesting experiences with ribbon. Oh, should I also mention, going back to issues, if you have a low ceiling, your ribbon can get very easily stuck on the ceiling. I was at Elite Canada in 2020, so last year, and like 3 people before I was supposed to compete with ribbon, I got it stuck in the ceiling and I was absolutely panicking. Thankfully, one of my friends was able to get it down and I competed in time, and I think I did an okay routine, but that was absolute panic. Oh my god, I've been filming for over 30 minutes already. Let me get into some questions. Yeah, someone said, is ribbon the hardest apparatus? For me personally, it is the hardest, and I think for a lot of people also it is, but some people really enjoy it. It's up to you to decide, but for me personally, it is the hardest. Most of these questions I've kind of answered already. Oh yeah, how long do you get the end of your ribbon to last? I've gone through like 3 ribbons this year due to holes. Yeah, my ribbons don't get holes, but the ends fall apart a lot. With this ribbon specifically, this is my 3rd one, I believe, since December 2018. That's like 1 every 6 months. In my experiences, ribbons don't last very long, so unfortunately we're gonna have to be replacing them quite often. How do you make those DIY connectors? I didn't make them. I don't know if you can make them. You might be able to, but I just bought mine from Venturelli, which is from the brand Amaya. Sasaki and Chacot also have these good kind of handmade connectors. I personally wouldn't recommend the ones that have like the chains attached to them because your ribbon can get stuck on that as well, and I think it also makes the ribbon heavier when you're doing spirals and stuff. So I would recommend looking for these kind of like handmade swivels. My favorite mastery with ribbon. Ooh, there was something that I had in my very first ribbon routine where I would like throw it and then catch it in my foot and re-throw it in illusion and then catch the end and do a boomerang. You'll probably be seeing a video, so sorry my explanation was not great, but I had that in my routine, in my first ribbon routine, and it was so cool, so much fun. But I haven't had it since, so that's kind of sad. I had a lot of questions about like ribbon versus rope type thing. Whether the technique is similar, whether you should start with ribbon or rope. I would say there are some elements of ribbon technique that are similar in rope. In terms of throwing ropes versus ribbons, I think that's quite different, but in terms of the manipulations that you'll do, there are some similarities. Most gymnasts when they're younger, they'll start with rope versus ribbon, just because ribbon is a lot more technical, and because also it's so long when you're a really small gymnast and it's gonna be easy to get tangled. But I know younger gymnasts always love playing with ribbon, but I think they would generally start with rope. Can you tie-dye ribbons or ropes? Ribbons, yes, you can. I don't know if you tie-dye specifically like you would do with a shirt or something. I'm not sure how the process works for dyeing your ribbon, but you can definitely do that. I'm not sure if you can do it with rope. You may be able to, but not 100% sure. Also, I have a problem where the connector ring breaks a lot when doing boomerang types of things. Yes, I have that too. And I honestly don't know why that always happens, but it does, and I'm sorry I can't really help you with that, but it is a problem, yeah. How can I improve my spirals? Think about it as like the circular movement comes from your wrist. So you want to practice that. The faster you move your wrist, the tighter your spirals are going to be. So make sure the movement is coming just from your wrist and not from your whole arm, because that's going to be harder to get the tighter spirals. And if you want to work on improving your spirals, you can do the spirals with wrist weights on your wrists. So if you have that extra weight, it's going to be obviously harder to do the manipulation, but once you take it off, it's going to be so much lighter and so much easier. So I think those are my best tips for improving your spirals. Okay, so that is everything that I wanted to go through today. So again, sorry, my videos have been really long lately. I apologize. I don't know about you, but I don't like when YouTube videos are super long, like more than 15 minutes, but I usually end up watching them anyways. Sorry if my videos have been a little bit long lately, I just have a lot to say. I guess to conclude, ribbon is definitely the most commonly known apparatus outside of rhythmic gymnastics, because like if you tell someone who doesn't know the sport, say I do rhythmic gymnastics, like it's the one with the ribbons and stuff, so that's how people know the sport. It's definitely what it's known for. It's definitely beautiful to watch, but it is the hardest to do in my opinion. I have had an interesting relationship with ribbon. I don't even know what to say. Ribbon is fun to play with, but not as fun to do a routine with because it fights back. This is just my very much biased opinion, but let me know what you guys think about ribbon. And also feel free to let me know what some of your favorite ribbon routines have been to watch, because I'd love to go and watch them as well. And also if you have any more questions on anything that I covered in this video, feel free to comment them down below and I will answer all of them. But yeah, that is it for this lengthy video, so thank you guys so much for watching if you watched up to here. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe down below if you're not already. Also, don't forget to turn on my post notifications so you don't miss another video, and I'll see you guys next week with a brand new video. Bye!